please turn off your cameras and microphones and use the chat feature to ask any questions you may have. If you haven't done so already, please submit your one-card photo using the Get app. You can find the Get app on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Please have a clear background when you're taking your photo for the one-card picture. This should be a photo that you would use on a state-issued ID or driver's license. I'm now going to turn it over to Angie Wilson to talk about orientation. Angie.
Thanks, Derek. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. My name is Angie Wilson, and I'm the coordinator of student engagement in the Office of Student Activities. If you'll give me a second, I'm going to share my screen with you all so you can have a visual reference for some of the topics I'm going to discuss. All righty. So real quick, I want to go over I want to welcome you, first of all. I'm an alum. I graduated in the class of 2020, so I'm extra excited to welcome all the new students to campus. I wanted to take some time this evening to go over and discuss some of our new student orientation programming. So for orientation, it's all about helping our incoming students transition to St. Mary's, feel connected to the campus community, as well as learn about our various campus resources. So of course, orientation is going to be kicked off by our move-in day. And on the screen right now, I have some of the times and dates that you'll be hearing from us. This is also posted on our website as well. So feel free to take a screenshot or take a picture of this real quickly. Some really fun parts of orientation. Again, move-in day. So all of our first-year students are going to be moving in on August 25th. That's going to be the Thursday. And you'll have between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. to move on to campus. So plenty of time here. And our transfer students will move in the following Friday. Commuter check-in is going to go in a similar fashion. First-year commuters will check in on Thursday, and transfer commuters will check in on that Friday. And then we'll also have opening convocation starting up on Friday as well. We'll be communicating all of this and more through your SMCM email account. So please feel free to check those regularly. I know you're already probably doing that already. All right, some other really fun orientation events are going to include our campus tour, where we're also going to take you around to some of the various classes you'll be having. That way, when the first day of classes, first week of classes come around, you already know where your classes are. You're also going to have your first core class during orientation, so you'll be able to get to meet the professor and your fellow classmates. We're also going to have St. Mary's favorite musician, Daniel Martin, come in and do a little fun presentation for us. And we're also going to have our Light Up the Arc event, where you'll be able to have fun experiences with your new peers and your orientation leaders as well. So plenty of awesome good things coming to orientation. We are so excited to welcome you all. And so here again, it's just that slideshow of the times and dates for your reference. Thank you all again for coming and joining us tonight. And I'm going to pass it off to our orientation coordinators to talk a little bit about our orientation team and our orientation leaders. Liz, Emmanuel, it's all you.
Okay, I'll start off introducing myself. My name's Lizzie. My pronouns are she, they. I'm a rising senior here at St. Mary's, anthropology major and a museum studies and dance double minor. And I'm one of the orientation coordinators, as mentioned by Derek before. And Emmanuel, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel. I'm the other side of orientation coordinator. I am a rising senior like my co-part Lizzie, and I am an economics major with a business minor. Yeah.
So just real quick to talk to you about like what an orientation leader actually does. The orientation leader will be leading you through your activities throughout your time at orientation. They'll be taking you on tours. They'll show you your classes. They'll be there to help you with any finding resources that you need, help you get to know new students, and help you get acclimated with campus.
And then some of the things they provide after orientations is done is checking up on you to make sure you're doing well in your classes and everyday life, linking you up to different sources, like they can show you where clubs are meeting or the activities they participate and invite you to them. Just overall being like there for you, so you always have like a friend on campus that you could talk to.
And you'll learn more about orientation leaders when you come to orientation. We're so excited to meet all of you. And I suppose now we'll just pass over to Dr. Neelis.
Thank you, Lizzie. Welcome everybody tonight. I'm so excited to see so many faces here. 108 people in one Zoom room is a lot of people in a Zoom room. So we're going to try our very best to answer all and the many questions that I'm sure that you all have right now. We've clearly got a lot of people on this call who are ready to answer those questions in the chat. We can do that kind of as we go, but we will also have a good amount of time at the end where we will field questions. And so if you want to hold on to questions till then, there is a good chance that we may actually answer those questions as we go. But you are also welcome to put anything in the chat, and we've got a wealth of resources here that are welcome or ready to answer those questions for you. So again, I am Kelly Nealis. I am an associate professor of chemistry. I am the department chair of chemistry and biochemistry, and I am the director of first year learning, which means I am well positioned to answer questions about your guys' first year experiences and the courses that you'll be taking this first year. And so what I'm going to focus on tonight is really kind of talking about that first semester schedule. And what that's going to look like and how you're going to find out what that is and all of that good information. And to do that, we're going to also kind of talk about something called Portal, which is kind of one of the key student access points for information at St. Mary's. And so to do that, I have a helper here, Gabby Miranda. Gabby, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Gabby Miranda. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a biochemistry major, class of 2024 with a music minor.
Wonderful. So Gabby is going to be able to show you guys the student portal from a student's perspective. And so in just a minute, I'm going to have Gabby share her screen with us so that we can see what you all will see when you log into your portal. Before that, though, I just want to kind of talk about kind of where we are in this process in terms of your guys's schedules. You all should have received an email this morning telling you that you now have access to your student schedule. For those of us who are joining us by watching the webinar later, it is July 26th. So if you go and search your email for an email that came in on July 26th, you should have gotten a lot of information about where your schedule is. It has links to the portal. It also has a really, really helpful video that tells you how to go about adding and dropping classes if you want to make changes in the portal. So just a call out to that. And I will also do another call out to your email. So your St. Mary's email account is really the only place that we can give you guys information right now. So we need to start checking that regularly. I tell students as we roll up into the month before classes, about once a day is probably the regular amount that you want to be checking it. Students, does that sound like about what you should be looking at, Emmanuel and Lizzie? Yeah, about once a day, because really that is how your faculty are going to contact you. So if they want to give you your syllabus before the class starts, or if they want to tell you, hey, this is the book we're using, but here's a really great way to get it so that you maybe get some cost savings or something like that, or the bookstore has this information for you. Your email is going to be how they're going to try to contact you. So go ahead and start checking that. So with that email you received this morning, you probably have a lot of questions. That's again why we're here tonight. We hope that you are pleased with the schedule that you got put into for your first semester, but we recognize that it may not look exactly like the requests that you put in with your summer advisor. And so we're going to talk about how to kind of address any concerns that you may have about that schedule. Remember, if you didn't get your first choice, that you're going to have a lot more semesters to kind of come back around to those classes. The really critical concerns are the ones that we want to address now, but I will have Gabby kind of talk to you about the fact that when you're looking at your coursework and your scheduling, that you don't always have your top choices every semester, and that's okay. It's part of the process. That's why we want to always have backup plans in place as we kind of move forward. So a couple of things. If you do have questions, again, we're going to answer some of those tonight. Some other places that are great resources, Blackboard is what we call our learning management system on St. Mary's. And so many faculty will be using Blackboard. Some use Google Classrooms, but Blackboard is the resource where all of your SOAR information was pushed. And so that has a lot of very detailed information about scheduling, what options are there for the semester. You can also wait to discuss your schedule with your, I've been calling them permanent, but it's not exactly the right word, but your permanent academic advisor who you will be assigned in the upcoming month. So the great news there is that you will actually have an appointment with your advisor during orientation. So for incoming first years, that is going to be between 1:45 and 4:30, I think, on Friday of orientation. Derek, please catch me if I get this wrong. Oh, there it is. I got it. I just have too many Post-it notes around me here. And for transfer students, that's going to be between 2 and 4:30 on the Friday of orientation. And so in the upcoming month, you will receive an email that tells you exactly what time, where, and who your advisor is. And so you'll get to meet with them. And so if you have questions about your schedule and you want to wait till that appointment, that's totally fine. You can talk to them at that time. And the Friday before classes start is a plenty of time to kind of get some stuff turned around so that you know what you're doing by the time you walk into those classes. Also, on August 1st through 5th, your registration is going to open back up on the portal. And so the students know what I mean when I say registration opens. It means that you then have the ability to add, to drop, or to swap classes. And this is going to be a time, the 1st through the 5th, where only incoming students are going to have their registration open. So it's only you all that's going to be able to go in there and make adjustments to your courses. So to do that, you're going to use Portal. So Gabby, would you please share your screen and go ahead and show us how to get into Portal?
Of course.
Yeah.
So I usually have my portal saved as a bookmark on my tab for Google, but if you don't have that yet, you can always just search up SMCM Portal, and it's the first link that comes up on Google. And I also like to keep myself logged in through Google, but you can choose whatever you want with that. So as soon as you log in, it takes you to the home screen. And if you scroll down, this is where you see your classes.
Gabby, can you pause for just a second there? And so another place that you can find a portal is on Inside SMCM. So Inside SMCM is where you go to find the link for your Gmail account through St. Mary's. It has a link to the library, to the bookstore, all kinds of really great information on Inside SMCM. And one of them there, it just literally says portal. And so you can click on that there as well. So what Gabby is showing us here is her schedule. She has a great schedule for a junior biochemistry major. So Gabby, can you show us a couple of things? Here, hang on 2 seconds. Let me look at my, yeah, so Portal is really kind of our repository of all the really important information for students. Gabby, would you scroll up to the top there? So you see we have a lot of different things that you can find in Portal, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those. Gabby's going to talk about some of those specifically. But this is really kind of the hub for students. I always tell my advisees that this is if you need a form of any sort, you're going to find the form on Portal. And so there's a lot of really important information here. So let's go ahead and go back down to your schedule, Gabby. And can you kind of show us the information that you can find about your schedule at this kind of place here?
Yeah, so you can see that the courses have like hyperlinks. So you could click on one of your courses and it'll take you straight to the page where it includes all the course details. So the instructor, how many credits you're going to receive, where it's going to be on campus, and the days and the times that you guys are going to have the classes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So a couple things about the location. Gabby, could you point over to, so main campus, right? So that's just at SMCM.
Mhm.
Good Pastor Hall is the academic building in which Gabby is taking her biochemistry class. So sometimes in Portal, this will be abbreviated. And there's a little bit of decoding that has to happen to kind of understand all those abbreviations. So another great news is that in orientation, there's actually a session where you guys are going to be doing some of that decoding, and you'll get a whole list of those abbreviations. So for example, Good Pastor Hall is abbreviated GH, but sometimes that gets confused with Glendenning Hall, which could also be a GH, but that isn't Glendenning's abbreviation. There's also the course room there, the 197. And then something to note over here on the day and time, the abbreviations MWF is of course Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The confusing one for students is TR. That's Tuesday, Thursday. So an R abbreviation is representing a Thursday class. Okay. What are some of the other things that we see in here, Gabby?
We see the amount of seats, so you can tell how many people are going to be in your class. So right here, it says -1 out of 15 seats. So that means there are going to be 16 people in my class. Also, the prerequisites that you need. So when the spring semester comes, like towards the end of the fall semester, and when you're registering for classes and you need to know if you can take a certain class, the prerequisites are also going to be noted to see if you can take that class or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, where Gabby was talking about those seats, the way our system works in Portal is that when you are looking at seats in a class, the first number is how many seats are left, and the second number is how many seats there are total. So in this particular class, what they're actually telling you is that we have over-enrolled the class by one person. So there's actually 16 people. For most of your classes, you're going to see a positive number there, right? So if you see 0 out of 15, it means that unfortunately that section is completely full at this time. Or if you see something like 5 out of 15, it means that there are 5 seats left and that section has some space to take on more students. So that's something to kind of note here while we're talking about your guys' schedules and, thinking about whether or not there are some other options that you want to kind of look at. All right, so before we go into changing our schedules, right? So I don't want to, Gabby, can you go ahead and stop screen sharing here? What I'd like to do is just take a minute and open up for questions regarding reading your schedule. So again, nothing here on changing your schedule yet, because that's going to be the next section. But does anybody have any questions on finding or reading your schedule for this semester? Do the little Zoom dance. I've got about 10 of you guys with your faces on, so I can tell that you don't have questions. Give time for people. How many of you all, give me a thumbs up in the Zoom room, have already taken a look at your schedule? Thumbs up with your yay, Lily, yay, Mackenzie, Colin, wonderful. Had a look, okay. TR means Tuesday and Thursday. Yep, TR is a Tuesday, Thursday class. Awesome. Yep. Any questions on like what times they are? Is there a way to see the entire schedule, times and name, without clicking each of the names individually? Interesting. Gabby, do you want to play with that a little bit and see if you can figure it out?
I personally haven't. I don't know how to. Actually, yes, I do. But for that, I need to show my grades. And
yeah, so if my students would kind of mess around with that a little bit and see if you can find it, any faculty, if you or staff, if you know a way to do that, I'm going to answer some of these other questions in here and then we'll circle back around to that one.
okay, got it actually.
You got it?
Yeah.
Gabby got it.
Okay.
All right, Gabby, go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, so let me go back home. So if you go, so this is home, you're gonna click My Academics, and then you're gonna click Grades and Academic Records. Right here, you choose a term, so it's gonna be fall 2022. I'm gonna click View Midterm Grade Report since I haven't taken the classes yet. And here is where everything's gonna be. Um,
And it has the titles there.
it has a title.
Everything. Yeah. Great.
So this is all you're gonna take.
All right.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I think you do have to go through and grab the classrooms and stuff. So I would just suggest printing something out and having the classrooms there. Yeah, to the questions that were in here, Tuesday, if you have TR, it means you meet on both Tuesday and Thursday. If you have MWF, then it means you meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at that time. Part of orientation will be finding your classes, so not to worry, we will give you a map and send you on, no, I'm kidding. We will have people taking you around to your classes to find those, absolutely. Wonderful. Course schedule, some people helping each other out in here. Career and network navigation general chemistry class. I know that's confusing, right? So the everybody in as a first year incoming student has to take 2 classes in their first semester. These are the no negotiations. Core 101 and Core P 101. Core 101 is your seminar. That's the one that had a lot of different topics on it. Core P 101 is the first class in your professional pathways pathway. Okay, so you have to take 3 classes for that pathway. All the general chemistry one means is that you are also enrolled in general chemistry. And for people who are also enrolled in general chemistry, we automatically put you into a STEM specific professional pathway class. I actually teach all of those. So if you got that on your schedule, I am your instructor. I will see you on a Friday, either at 2:10 or at 3:10, depending on which one you're enrolled in. Okay. Yeah, so main campus is the only place that we have. Some colleges have multiple locations, so it's just part of the system that has that in. Okay. I don't see, yep, 0 out of 22 means that there are no open seats in that section. One thing that you can do in that case, if it's a section that you're very interested in, is you can email a professor and ask them to be put on their wait list. They cannot squeeze you in, they cannot like make new seats appear where there are no seats, but what they do have is oftentimes a wait list. And so you are welcome to reach out to professors, the instructor themselves, and ask to be put on their wait list. We all have that kind of system in place for our classes. Okay. Question is, if a section is overfilled, will people be put in different classes or does it stay overfilled? Very good question. So as the chair, I can say sometimes we play a game as the chair where we actually cap a class just slightly lower than what we can physically fit in the room because we have let's say transfer students who are coming in with our major or some reason that we need to hold a seat. And so that's where you're going to see those negative numbers. You can see in biochemistry. I was really trying to keep those numbers at 15 because that's a better number for the class, but I was going to take care of all my biochemistry majors. So let's say Gabby was my 16th person and I said, I'm not going to leave Gabby out in the cold and not have her take her biochemistry class, which she absolutely needs. And so I, as the chair, along with the professor, can squeeze that number up sometimes. But that's a very special circumstance. So it shouldn't be assumed that that can be done. Wonderful. All right. Are there any, Kathy or Joanne, do you see any ones that I need to, yeah, so I will say if there is no classroom on Portal, I actually have If you're referring to your Core 101 class, that's this Post-it note that I need to take care of tomorrow because I noticed that a couple of classes don't have a classroom. But it usually just means that there was some discussion happening with faculty about where they wanted that space to be. It will have a spot by the first week of classes. So you will, by the time you come to orientation, we will have that all put away. Okay, cool.
No, we do not have a math placement exam.
Yep, no math placement, no math placement. So that's really a conversation that you want to have with your academic advisor. They're really going to be able to lead you in the right direction. And if they don't feel confident leading you in the right direction, they're going to talk to the math department, who is going to lead you in the right direction. I've done that many times where I've talked with a student and with the math department about what makes them the most sense. Cool. All right. Gabby, let's go ahead and have you share your screen again, and we're going to talk about what to do if you want to change something on your schedule. So we have a couple of options here. I'm just going to run back through the ones that I had said before. Sorry, I'm just playing with the pins. Let's see, where is Gabby? There's Gabby. Okay, I want to pin you. And I also want to pin myself. There we go. Okay, so first thing that you could do is wait. Okay, you could just wait until you meet with your permanent academic advisor on Friday before classes. You can let them know that you have a concern and you want to change a class, and then you and your academic advisor can do that in the first week of classes. Okay. Let me tell you about the first week of classes. There is always movement in the first week of classes. What I mean by movement is students will come back to campus and realize that they want to make some changes to their schedule. And that's not just first years, that's all of our students. And so seats will open, seats will close, right? So if you have a section that has 0 out of 22 seats right now, there is a very high chance that possibly in the first week, some seats could become available. And so in the first week of classes, you can add and drop classes with your academic advisor by doing an add or drop form. Okay, and so that is something that you can do. There's a form on campus that gets filled out and sent to the registrar's office. There's a couple of different ways we can do it. There's a paper pen copy, and there's also a way with the instructor where the instructor can fill out a Google form. You just have to talk with the instructor. So that's the kind of like, I'll just wait and we'll take care of it in the first week of classes situation. Okay. The other way to do it is to wait until this special time frame, which is August 1st to August 5th, where your incoming registration is going to open back up. So Gabby, I'm sorry, your registration is not going to open back up. You will not be able to switch classes at that time. But for the rest of you, you will be able to do that. And the way that you're going to do that is through a portal. So I'm going to have Gabby go ahead and click on, can you point out first the add drop courses? Yeah. So on the right there, you have the course search, where Gabby, go ahead and click the course search. If you're just looking for courses and you want to see what's out there, then you can come here. Gabby, let's go ahead and look at our chemistry courses.
Okay.
Yeah, for this fall semester. Okay, and so here, if we hit search, we can see that what classes we have, right? We can see that the vast majority of our Gen Chem sections are all full, that we have some openings here in, our second semester of Gen Chem, and right, so all of this information is here. This is really where you can go in and look at courses that are available to you. Okay, Gabby, go ahead and go back. Yeah, go to the, yeah, perfect. So now if you hit the add or drop courses, it's going to give you 3 options during the August 1st to August 5th timeline. So let's see. So we see here, go ahead, Gabby, go ahead and scroll up just a little bit there where we can see that, look, closed, right? It's in big red letters. Gabby is not allowed to change anything right now. Now, so if Gabby needed to make a change, she would need to either work directly with the instructor, with her academic advisor, or with the registrar's office. Okay, but the best way for you all to do this is to wait until that August 1st to 5th time frame. Then go ahead and scroll down, Gabby. At that time, you're going to have three options. So you can see here the drop and the swap. There's also going to be an add column. Okay. Now, what we suggest you do is use the swap column. The video that was in the email that came out this morning walks you through this swap process really clearly. And because it's a super clear video, I'm not going to go through everything here, but essentially what's going to happen is if Gabby wants to swap biochemistry 1, she's going to click the swap button, and then there's going to be a button at the bottom that says swap. What swap does is it keeps you enrolled in biochemistry 1 while you're looking for a replacement. And so you don't lose that seat in biochemistry 1 while you're looking for your replacement. If you were to try to drop and then add, once you drop, you've dropped. Okay, so you're out of the class. You no longer have that seat. And so while Lizzie is waiting in the wings for somebody to open a seat in biochemistry 1, Gabby has now lost it. And Lizzie sees it in her portal and she jumps in it and she enrolls, and now Gabby doesn't have the chance anymore. So that's why we want to use that swap option, because it's going to hold our seat in the class that we are currently enrolled in while we are looking for another class. It also means that if you're swapping 1 for 1, you all know you're going to maintain the number of credits that we really want you to shoot for. That magic number for your first semester is 17. With 17 credits, it means that you're in 4 courses, 4 credit classes, and then your 1 credit professional pathway skill or course. Now, there are some exceptions to that, right? And you may have spoken with an advisor about exceptions, but in general, we really like to see our first year students in those 17 credits. Do not, let me say it, everybody pay attention to me right now. Okay, everybody looking? Awesome. Do not drop Core 101 or Core P 101. You will physically be able to do that, but if you do that and we don't catch it and get you into a class, it's going to make problems down the road, right? We really need you to be in those Core 101s and the Core P 101 classes. Once the semester starts and if you want to drop a class, you do not need an instructor's signature to drop a class. You do need an instructor's signature to add a class. And so you'll either get that by physically taking them an add slip and they'll sign it for you. And then you take it to the registrar, or if the instructor wants to add you to a class, they have a Google form that by them filling it out is essentially their signature and allowing you into the class. Okay. Let me check my notes here real quick. Yep. All right, so I'm gonna have Gabby go ahead and scroll up. That's okay, so just share it again. I'm gonna show you a couple of the other things, or I'm gonna have Gabby show you a couple of the other things in Portal. And then I'm gonna open it up for questions. We can pop into any of the questions that have come up in the meantime that we need to talk about with the group, and I'll open it up for questions about those changing of classes. So if you look at the top here of Portal, in addition to your home, you have My Academics, the student account, financial aid, campus life, and then I'm not sure what the My Pages one is. But so Gabby, do you know what it is?
No,
Don't click on it.
I never use it.
So the financial aid and the student account is going to be where you're going to see things like holds on your accounts, scholarships that you've received, payments that you've made. I'm going to ask Gabby to not click on those things because I don't want you all to see any of her information. But that is going to be one of those main places that a student can go to get information about their account. Okay, Gabby, can you walk us through the My Academics, kind of show us some of the things that are in there?
Yeah, so as I've shown you guys before, this is mostly where you guys look at your course schedules. Here are like certain forms that you guys can fill out, like if you need them, when you need them. Here's also where you can find the add drop slip, if you can print it out if you don't have time to pass through Glendenning and pick up the form. Also, when you look here to the left, it'll allow you to see your grades. And it's also where you guys are able to declare your majors and your minors. So here I've declared my biochemistry major and my music minor. Make sure to click save, because if you just change it and you don't save it, nothing's going to get saved. Also for your degree audit, your requirements. So as you can see, I haven't met all of my requirements yet, which is okay because I'm still a rising junior. But yeah, you can check that. You can click view all details, like all the requirements that you need, what courses satisfy your requirements as well. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So we, one of the requirements is that at the end of your sophomore year, every student declare a major. So that's going to be something that your academic advisor reminds you to do kind of as you roll up to that second year. That degree audit is just a way for students as they kind of roll up to their final semesters to make sure that they've hit all of those things. Your academic advisor is going to be checking those with you every semester at your semesterly appointment. This is also, you can see up in that top right hand corner where you can get your unofficial transcript. So if you have any, internship or job interview that requires your transcript, that's where you can get that. Lots of really good information. Again, this is really our repository for all of those forms and things that you need as a student is here in this portal. Okay. I am going to now go ahead, Gabby, and share your screen. I'm going to remove the pins so that we can see all of your faces. And just open up again for additional questions. Joanne or Kathy, were there any questions that you'd like me to call out to or provide additional information from our perspective?
Professor Nealis, if you could talk a little bit about the foreign language requirement and what students should do if they did not get into a foreign language course this semester, please.
For sure, absolutely. So the foreign language requirement is that you pass a foreign language at a 102 level. So just remember that course number 102. So if you placed in to a language, let's say Spanish 101, it means that you're going to take Spanish 101 first, and then you're going to take Spanish 102. If you placed into Spanish 110, then you're just going to take Spanish 110. We just want to make sure that all of our students have a working, language by the time they leave, and that 102 level is really where we hit that kind of working requirement. If you wanted to get into a language this semester and you didn't, I feel the pain, right? Because like we all have these courses, this schedule that we really want to get into. The good news is that there's no timeline on that language requirement. And so if you didn't get in this semester, let's just do it again next semester. The more credits you accumulate with the college, the earlier you get to register in the registration process. So I'll be honest, our seniors get the pick of the crop, right? Like they get everything. Lizzie's so excited. She's like, I'm finally to that point where I'm getting the classes that I want. As a first year, yes, we're not going to get every single one we want every single semester. And so we just keep trying. Do keep your eyes on seats in the portal, right? Just check it every once in a while to see if maybe a seat opened up. The other thing really is to get on that wait list, right? So just shoot the professor an email and say, I wanted to get into your course. I was not able to. Could I please be put onto your wait list? I will say, asking to get on the wait list is a much better way to approach the professor than telling them like, I have to be in this class, please make it happen on my behalf. Because we get a lot of those emails. We do recognize that there are circumstances that are really important, and we will work with you all as much as we possibly can. But we do actually have like physical limitations in the classroom, so we can't keep just squeezing people in. Yeah. Joanne, was that everything you needed?
Yep, thank you very much.
Awesome. Yeah, Shalay asked, can first years declare their majors and minors now? Yeah, and can you change it next week? Sure, right? So I actually suggest that if you are interested in a major or minor that you do go ahead and declare, because what that does is it gets you put on my list. So if not mine, you get put on the chair's list of that major or minor. And so then when we as a chair do a search for all of the people in our programs, you'll show up and you'll get the emails from us saying, hey, there's a great opportunity for chemistry or biochemistry majors, or there's a great opportunity for music minors. If you're not declared in that major or minor, then you're not on the list. And we just don't even know that you're interested. So there's no hurt to get to declare early. You can change, you saw it, it was a drop-down menu, right? Like you can change it at any time. So you don't have to have anybody's approval to declare. So you can just go ahead and do that whenever you're comfortable doing so. Yeah.
Can we get the students to talk about how they find their textbooks?
Wonderful. Yeah. How about Lizzie or Emmanuel? You guys have been patiently waiting for your chance to shine.
I have always gone to the campus store website. From there, the course codes, which are the little like abbreviated letters and numbers that were next to the specific course on Portal that Gabby showed you. You can search on the campus store website for the textbooks your professor wants you to get for that class. And once you can see the list of required or ones they just recommend you getting. It's also worth it to talk to your professor to see if maybe they're like, oh, you don't actually have to get that book, or actually, here's another book I want you to get that the campus store doesn't offer. But I usually go to the campus store first just to see what the list is and then contact my professor after if I have questions.
And then if that doesn't end up, or if that you want to like have it like wait to get it, you can always look on the syllabus. It will be on there almost all the time from when the professor gives you on the first day.
Yeah, and we do try our very best on campus to share our syllabi about a week in advance of classes starting. There will be some faculty who don't meet that, but you will likely get your syllabi a little bit in advance of the class. You can find those syllabi sometimes just posted on Blackboard. So sometimes the faculty members won't tell you that the syllabus is up there, but if you go log on to Blackboard and look at your classes, you'll find that it's starting to be populated with information. And so that can happen even as soon as, like, I usually open my classes early in August. So you can find that. Our bookstore does a great job working with our faculty to try to keep costs of textbooks low. So you will find that some courses are actually using open source books. General chemistry is an example of that, where you don't actually need to buy a textbook for that class, though there are some other requirements. And they're older editions. There's, Amazon, you can rent textbooks, you can buy used versions. Sometimes if the version isn't the same as the one being asked for, you can email the professor and ask, will this older version work for me? And they can let you know if it'll work. Yeah. Okay.
Students, where do you go for used textbooks?
The campus store does offer used textbooks very often, because a lot of the times textbooks get reused. And I often go to websites if it's not like a traditional textbook. Like as an anthropology major, most of my books tend to be different from those of like the chemistry side of things. So I can go to sites like Thrift Books or check to use bookstores and stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll talk to students that did the classes before me to see if they'd be willing to give me the books or sell them to me for pretty cheap. That's also a resource you can use.
Yeah. And just, I saw a couple of questions. I'm trying to scroll through the questions and do call out for me, Kathy or Joanne, if there's anything. But how do I find what books my class needs? You go through the bookstore website. So you can either just Google SMCM bookstore and get to it, or it's one of the links on Inside SMCM. Also, you can just Google Inside SMCM and then follow those links. But you have to put in each book or each course, and then the books for that course will pop up. So yeah. The other, so I think it was Vincent who I saw had a comment. My parents keep asking about the fact that I only have 5 classes. And I will tell you, that's a really common parent question that we get is that a full course load? You can record me right now. You'll have this on recording. That is a full course load at St. Mary's, okay? 4 credits classes is what we intend to be a full schedule. Taking more than that is very, very precarious. And I have very, very strong conversations with my advisees who want to go over that 4 course load. This is partially because we are an honors college and there is a very high expectation of the type of work that we ask of our students, and that being in class is a very, you know, let's say 50%, 60% of the work, right? That even may be too high, right? There is a lot of work that happens outside of class. So you really can't look at the numbers of class. The other thing is that some classes have additional requirements, right? So like, for example, General Chemistry 2 has a laboratory associated with it. So does Principles of Biology, right? All of those things are taking up time outside of class. Gabby, anything to add to like, is 5 classes, and 5 is actually your highest semester. You usually have only 4 classes because you don't have that professional pathways all the way through all 4 years. Can you, anything to say, Gabby, about is 4 classes a full schedule?
As someone who's taken between 17 and 19 credits every semester being here, four classes is more than enough. Sometimes I regret taking more than 4 classes. So like for your first semester of college, I think getting back into the groove of like finding the difference between high school and college, that's really good. So 4 classes, 5 classes, that's good enough. Don't go overboard, please.
Yeah, and like I said, I have a very deep conversation with any students who ever want to go above 4. There has to be a pretty good reason to want to go above 4. Yeah.
Yes, 17 credits is the normal expectation
Yep.
for first year students in fall and spring semester. So
If you-
you'll actually see 5 classes. 4 of those will be 4 credits and 1 will be a 1 credit class.
Yeah. If you average 16 credits per semester, you will graduate in 4 years, and you will have hit the 128 magic number of credits that we need you to have by the time you graduate. I see a lot of job questions. So I am not the best person to answer that. Derek, do you know about higher SMCM more, or any of those types of questions?
Emmanuel, you look like do you work in that office?
I don't actually work in the office, but I do apply to a lot of jobs on campus. So when you apply to a job in higher SMCM, you will get a confirmation email after they like accept your resume through the Career Development Center. So after they do that, you'll get the email confirmation that your application was submitted. And then once the application is submitted, you get an email from the person who runs the office. So like I applied for admissions and they emailed me that, oh, okay, we got your application, was up interview this time. You have your interview set up, you do the interview, and they'll let you know when you actually get the job.
And a lot of offices are still determining what student positions they need and submitting those to the Career Development Center. So if you are interested, keep looking back throughout August, and once the semester started, there will be more positions for you to consider.
And same with the federal work study program, that those positions get posted sometimes a little bit closer to when the semester starts, because that's when the people who are calling for the positions finally start to think that, oh no, the semester is starting, we need these positions. I've seen the question a couple of times, where can you find your language test results? So that is through, Kathy, I'm sorry, what was the name of the first platform students worked with? It's not on Portal.
Oh, the gateway?
Yes, your student gateway. If you log into that platform, there is the academic placement or your language placement test results should be on that. Career Network Navigation is a core 101 class. So Career Network Navigation is a core P101. That's a very confusing thing that we've done to ourselves in naming those so closely to one another. We regret that choice in hindsight. So yes, you need to be in a 4-credit core 101 and in a 1-credit core P101 this semester. So those are the two that I was saying, don't touch those. You need to remain enrolled in those courses. If you have a problem with those courses, we can work around it, but we need you to be enrolled in both of those.
Professor Nealis, could you please address the question, is everyone required to take classes in English, social studies, etc., outside of core seminar, core inquiry, language study, and academic major? If so, where are these requirements listed in detail?
Yeah, awesome. So our requirements that you will be coming in under under our lead curriculum. So lead curriculum has 3 major kind of veins. So we kind of talk about them as breadth, depth, and professional pathways. Okay, so your depth is your major. Okay, so that's, you go deep into a major, right? So that's, if I'm an English major, I'm taking all English classes. That's how I go very deep into that major. The pathways course are those 3 required courses that are 1 credit per semester. You take that first semester, second semester, and then sometime in your sophomore or junior year, you take that 3rd one. Okay. What you're actually asking about, whoever posed this question, is the breadth requirements. Okay, so many campuses call those general education requirements. Okay, we are going to be doing those. All students have to have that language requirement, right? The other requirements there are core 101. That is one of your breadths, because that is a seminar course that kind of works with all of the liberal arts skills, right? So we're looking at different like people questions through the liberal arts skills. The other breadth requirements have 2 options of fulfilling them. Okay, so if you didn't get the spiel from your summer advisor, I'm giving you my summer advisor spiel. I apologize to those of you who I'm your summer advisor. 2 options. You have what I call the bucket method or the a la carte method, and the other method is called an inquiry. Okay, so let's start with the a la carte method. A la carte says we have 6 buckets in addition to language. Okay, so our 6 buckets is humanistic foundations, science with a laboratory, mathematics, cultural literacy, social and behavioral sciences, and what's the one I'm missing, friends?
Arts.
Arts, there we go. What you have to do with that a la carte method is pick courses that fulfill each of those buckets. Okay, now notice I did not say English. English is not actually a requirement that we have on campus, because all of your core 101 seminars have a writing component to them. So you're actually getting those English skills by taking core 101. Okay, so a la carte method, that's our first method for those 6 buckets. The second method is an inquiry. Okay, and so the inquiry, you don't have, you fill all of those 6 buckets, but you do it in 4 or 5 classes, because those 4 or 5 classes are all centered around one theme. And what we've done as a campus is very carefully selected those classes so that we meet all 6 of those bucket requirements in just 4 or 5 classes. So why would you want to do one versus the other? A la carte method is good for people who really want to test out a bunch of really different areas, right? Because like you maybe don't have your major picked yet, you have some, you really want to explore a bunch of stuff. A la carte method, also really good if you came in with a lot of AP credits, okay? Because what that probably means is that you've actually probably got 3, maybe even 4 of those buckets already filled. Inquiry is really good for people who love seeing connections in like disciplines that look very different from one another, but they overlap. Like if you've ever been in a class where you're like, why is this philosophy class speaking so much to my biology class? Like, why do they overlap so much? That's an inquiry, right? Also, if you like your courses all to kind of like center around a central theme, like climate, justice, idea of the West, music, and something else. And then there's one fifth one. Anyways, those are our inquiries. Okay, so those are that inquiry, if you choose an inquiry, or the bucket method, those are your general education requirements. Okay, so if you go to the LEAD curriculum website, would one of the students grab that LEAD website and plop that into the chat? Those are the things that you have to have completed before you graduate. So yeah, that's kind of our gen ed requirements. And again, just to come back to that very specific question, English is not actually one of those requirements. Okay.
Dr. Nealis, we're coming up on 8 o'clock. I just wanted to see if you had any final pieces of advice or remarks.
Yeah, my final piece of advice is to trust the process right now with the schedule. It feels very high stakes, but Gabby, Emmanuel, Lizzie, how do you come into the first week of classes always 100% knowing what your schedule looks like? Okay, Lizzie, would you say a little bit more about that?
And I definitely don't, and I'm an over planner. As a person, I like to have everything planned out to a T, but the first week is the time for change. So it is the time for things to fluctuate, for classes to change, for you to set your work schedule with things on campus, for you to figure out what activities you want to be in. That first week is for change. So go into it kind of expecting that or being open to it. Yeah, that's all I can really say on it. But yeah, even as an over planner, I know that week could always be what changes the rest of my semester. So
yeah, and that's very common and okay. So I would say, be proactive about your schedule. If you see problems, definitely, reach out with questions to the people we kind of talked about today, but don't feel like you have to fix it tonight. You will get it figured out, and we will get you in a schedule that works for you within the first week of classes. Like, we will do that with you. You do not have to take a club, Brittany.
But we do encourage it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I could have a whole nother hour talking about the benefits. So thank you everybody for tonight. I enjoyed talking with you all and fielding questions. And yeah.
Thanks everyone. We do have 2 more Hawk Talks coming up. Next Tuesday, August 2nd, we'll be meeting with the Office of Student Success Services, as well as our Office of Accessibility Resources. And the week after that is a great one, How to Wow. This is our in-depth look at move-in day. So our residence life staff will join us and talk about those logistics. And we'll also be joined back again by our orientation team, who will talk a little bit more in depth about what you'll do during orientation. We appreciate you all sticking with us for tonight. And again, feel free. The Office of Admission is still one of your best resources. If you have questions, they can help get you to who on campus can answer those best for you. So please feel free to continue to reach out to that office. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great evening.
Bye, everyone. The Zoom wave. Zoom wave.
Bye,
It's fun to
guys.
watch the tick down.
Yeah, I know. My favorite is then you when you're doing webinars, you catch the people who left, and then you're like,